Ever get that creepy feeling scrolling through social media? Like those political ads are a little too good at knowing what you're thinking.
Yeah, it can be a bit unnerving.
Today, we're diving into the world of AI and politics. And trust me, it's not just a feeling.
AI is already playing a pretty big role in politics.
We'll be looking at this article, AI and Politics, Who's Really in Control? Exploring how artificial intelligence influences elections, policies, and misinformation.
It's a fascinating look at how AI is changing the political landscape.
We're here to help you understand just how AI is shaping politics, both the good and the bad.
Exactly.
Ever feel like politics is a game you don't understand?
Well, AI might be changing the rules right under our noses.
It really is, yeah.
So let's kick things off with AI's role as the ultimate campaign manager.
Okay.
We're talking data crunching to predict and even maybe sway voters.
One of the most powerful ways AI is changing things is with something called micro-targeting.
Micro-targeting.
Yeah. So like imagine this. Campaigns can now use AI to analyze tons of data.
And I mean mountains of it. Everything from your social media, your browsing history, even like your shopping habits.
Wow.
And they use it to create super detailed profiles of individual voters.
So it's not just about knowing my age and where I live anymore.
Nope.
They're building like a whole political dossier on everyone, figuring out our fears, our hopes, what makes us tick.
It's powerful stuff.
That's kind of scary.
And they use this information to craft messages that are designed to resonate with specific voters, really personalized. Remember that whole Cambridge Analytica thing? That was like a wake-up call about the potential of AI and micro-targeting.
Well, yeah, wasn't that the Facebook scandal?
Exactly. They took data from millions of Facebook users.
Wow.
And they used it to create those super targeted ads, the kind that really play on people's anxieties and influence their decisions.
Like in the 2016 U.S. election.
And the Brexit referendum, too.
I mean, where's the line between smart campaigning and straight-up manipulation?
They're a really good question, yeah.
Is this a threat to democracy or just savvy politics?
Because if campaigns can tailor messages to exploit our weaknesses, how do we know we're making decisions based on facts?
Makes you think.
And it's not just targeting individuals. AI can also predict entire election outcomes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. AI systems analyze trends and crunch numbers to forecast how people are likely to vote.
So campaigns can focus their resources like on specific groups.
Exactly, or on swing states.
Like AI is playing political chess, predicting everyone's moves.
In a way, yeah.
If AI can predict who's going to win, does that even change how we approach elections? Like, does it influence how we vote?
I think those are questions we all need to be asking ourselves.
Especially as AI gets more and more sophisticated.
Definitely.
And it's not just elections.
Right.
AI is finding its way into policymaking, too.
Like, think about it. AI can analyze massive data sets to inform policy decisions across all sorts of issues.
So AI could be like a superpowered policy advisor,
Exactly.
sifting through mountains of data to find things humans might miss.
Like having a team of experts at your fingertips.
There's an example of this, right?
Yeah, Estonia is a good one. They're like pioneers in digital governance.
Okay.
And they're already using AI to automate a lot of government functions.
Like what?
Well, they've streamlined everything from tax collection to issuing building permits.
So it makes life easier for citizens and frees up government resources.
Exactly.
But, I mean, doesn't that raise questions about transparency?
How do you mean?
If algorithms are making decisions that affect our lives, shouldn't we know how they're reaching those decisions?
You're right. That's a really important point.
I mean, we're basically handing over so much power to AI.
We need to make sure there's transparency and accountability.
Absolutely. We need to understand how those decisions are being made and who's responsible.
Yeah, because with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Right. And AI is definitely a powerful tool.
And that brings us to another thing, the problem of bias in AI systems.
AI bias, that's a big one.
It is.
AI systems are only as good as the data they learn from. So if the data is biased, won't the AI just perpetuate that bias?
Yeah, potentially leading to discriminatory policies or outcomes.
Like in the criminal justice system, I've heard about that.
There have been cases where AI algorithms used to predict recidivism have ended up targeting minorities.
That's really concerning.
It is.
How can we ensure that the AI used in policymaking is actually fair and equitable?
That's a challenge, yeah.
I bet governments all over the world are struggling with that right now.
Definitely. And it's a challenge we need to address head on.
If we want AI to actually benefit society,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we're giving AI all this power, but it feels like we're still figuring out how to control it.
It's a bit like giving a kid the keys to a Ferrari.
Right. We talked about AI's influence on elections and policy decisions.
Yeah.
But what about how it shapes public opinion? That feels like a whole other beast.
It really is, and one of the biggest concerns there is AI's potential to amplify misinformation.
Yep. I mean, we all know how fast fake news spreads online.
And AI is making it even harder to sort out truth from fiction.
It feels like we're living in a world where it's getting tougher and tougher to know what's real.
Absolutely, and that has huge implications for political discourse.
Huge.
One of the scariest things in this area is the rise of deepfakes.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those AI-generated videos and stuff.
Exactly, they can make it look like someone is saying or doing something they never did.
Like that video of Nancy Pelosi from a while back.
Uh-huh. The one where it looked like she was slurring her words.
Yeah, that was freaky.
It went viral before anyone could debunk it.
So many people thought it was real.
And that's the danger with deepfakes. They're so convincing.
They could be used to discredit anyone.
Or spread lies, erode trust in our institutions.
It's like a digital house of mirrors.
Creating illusions with real-world consequences.
And it's not just deepfakes, right?
No,
Those algorithms that control our social media feeds are part of the problem too.
they are.
It's weird, they're designed to keep us engaged,
Right.
but they often end up pushing the most sensational or controversial content.
Even if it's totally false.
It's like our addiction to drama is being exploited.
At the expense of truth and accuracy.
These algorithms, I mean, they just want to keep us clicking and scrolling.
And studies have shown that misinformation actually spreads faster than real information.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the clickbait of the digital age.
So instead of connecting us with good information and different viewpoints,
You end up in these echo chambers.
where everyone just hears what they already believe,
Exactly, and that makes it harder to have real political conversations.
it just fuels division and gridlock.
It does.
So AI is being used in campaigns, policy making, spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
But who's actually in charge of all of this?
That's the million-dollar question.
It really is.
A lot of the power rests with the big tech companies, Google, Meta, Amazon.
They're the ones creating these AI technologies.
And they control the platforms where they're used.
And let's be honest, their main goal is profit, not necessarily a healthy democracy.
Well, that's the system we live in, right? Capitalism prioritizes profit.
So how do we balance that with, the well-being of society?
There are growing calls for more transparency and accountability with these algorithms.
We need to understand how they work.
How they're being used, what biases they have.
It's like driving a car with a powerful engine but no dashboard.
We need to see what's happening under the hood.
Governments are struggling to keep up with all of this too.
They are. It's tough to regulate something that's changing so fast.
Like the GDPR, the European Union's data protection regulation.
It was a good step
But it's clear we need more rules and oversight.
to make sure AI is being used ethically in politics.
And it can't just be governments and corporations.
Right.
We need everyone involved, watchdog groups, journalists, citizens.
Holding those in power accountable, raising awareness about the risks.
We all need to be informed and engaged, demanding transparency and ethical practices.
From both tech companies and governments.
It takes a village, right?
It really does. We need a collective effort to navigate all of this.
But it's not all doom and gloom, is it?
No, definitely not.
AI has the potential to make democracy better.
To make our systems more efficient, more inclusive.
Okay, I like where this is going. Tell me more.
Imagine AI platforms that can make online voting more secure,
That would be incredible.
making it easier for everyone to vote, especially people who have trouble getting to the polls.
I love that.
Or AI tools that can help people understand political candidates and issues.
In a fair and unbiased way.
Exactly, like a personalized news source that cuts through all the noise.
That could really help fight misinformation,
And think about AI-powered platforms for policy discussions,
where people can actually have meaningful conversations about important issues.
with AI helping to keep things constructive and bridge divides.
It would be like a digital town hall.
Accessible to everyone.
That's amazing. AI could empower citizens in ways we've never seen before,
The key is to make sure these technologies are developed ethically.
with the right safety measures in place.
We need clear guidelines and regulations to prevent abuse.
So it sounds like we're at a crossroads.
We are.
AI could either lead us to a better, fairer society,
Or a dystopian future where algorithms control everything.
and a few corporations call all the shots.
That's the choice we face.
The decisions we make today will determine which path we take.
We need to have honest conversations about the role we want AI to play.
In our lives, our societies, our political systems.
And those conversations need to involve everyone.
Technologists, policymakers, everyday people, even podcasters like us.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's about making sure technology serves humanity.
Not the other way around.
Exactly.
Feels like we're standing at the edge of a whole new world, one where technology is calling the shots in politics more than ever before.
I agree with that. And like we've been saying, we have to make sure tech empowers us, not the other way around.
Right, totally.
And this isn't just a problem for one country or one group to solve AI in politics. It's global.
It's everywhere.
We need everyone on board to set ethical guidelines, regulations, safeguards, all of that.
It's like, okay, imagine we're all playing this massive game of political chess, right? But AI is rewriting the rule book as we play.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And instead of fighting each other, we got to team up.
To make sure the game is fair, that everyone has a shot.
That's the only way to win, really.
We have to make sure AI empowers people, not manipulates them, strengthens democracy instead of tearing it down.
And for that, you need global cooperation.
Everyone has to agree on what's right, ethically.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into AI and politics. Where do we even begin to sum it all up?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that AI is already having a huge impact on politics, and that's only going to increase.
It's not going away.
Not at all. It's a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
We saw how AI is changing election campaigns with micro-targeting, all those predictions.
How it's being used to make policy decisions, but also how it's spreading misinformation.
Yeah, and driving us further apart politically.
And we talked about how much power these big tech companies have.
And the need for more transparency, more accountability.
There are rules, basically, about how these technologies are used.
But we also explored how AI could make democracy better, right?
Right, if we do it responsibly.
Like secure online voting, making it easier for everyone to participate.
And those AI-powered platforms for having better policy discussions.
So much potential there.
The future of politics in the age of AI really is in our hands.
It's up to us to demand ethical practices, hold those in power accountable.
And make sure AI is helping to build a better world, a fairer world.
We started by asking if you ever feel like you don't understand the game of politics.
And I think we've shown just how much AI is changing that game.
But you've got the knowledge now.
And the power to help shape how these new rules are written.
So as AI keeps getting more and more advanced, here's the big question we should all be asking.
How can we ensure that it empowers us, the citizens, instead of being used to manipulate us?
How can we use AI to make democracy stronger and create a world that's more just and equitable?
It's a big question with big implications.
That's something we all need to think about, talk about.
As we venture into this uncharted territory.
Stay informed, stay engaged, keep asking the tough questions.
Remember, we create the future. It doesn't just happen to us.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI and politics.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious out there.